Ellen DeGeneres, the American TV show hostess, got into trouble yesterday when she likened the self-isolation as being in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, obviously, she'd never been at Yonkers jail in New York or the other notorious jails in that country. You need hope. You need hope, because without hope, you're stuck in the present. And hope is an investment in the future, an unknown future, but you need hope. And what comes out of hope is two qualities. One is optimism.
Mm-hmm.
So just saying, tomorrow's another day, or next week's going to be another week, or next month's going to be another month. 2021 is going to be different from this year, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So, investing in the future through optimism is probably a key attitude I think we have to accept. Things don't stay the same.
No.
All right?
No.
We're not, for example, I'm thinking of, the 2004 Asian tsunami, the 2008 global financial collapse, the recent virus outbreaks of MERS and SARS. I mean, these were enormous events. And while obviously we weren't affected here directly in the UAE by the 2004 tsunami, we were definitely affected by all the others, particularly MERS.
Yeah.
So we know crises come and they go. How long does it take for the coming and the going is a critical factor right now, because we simply don't know. And our futures are very much in the hands of other people, because if other people don't self-isolate, if they break the rules and don't do social distancing, it's just only going to prolong it for everyone. So that's a tough one to get your head around as well. My future going for the rest of 2020 is actually not entirely in my hands.
No.
It's in others.
No. But again, you talk about future. By doing what we're doing through, staying at home and adhering to what our local authorities are telling us to do or advising us to do, then, we have a future. We do have a future. We don't know what it looks like, but we do have a future. So you say hope and optimism, but without any actions, then, it just becomes a wish, doesn't it? So,
correct.
Combining the optimism, the positive outlook, and taking those daily actions are a key to how we can move forward and create that future, which is going to have a bright outcome. What actions are you taking at the moment that are creating your future? Okay,
so there's a number of things. It takes courage, I also think, to develop hope when things look quite bleak. So I think adding to optimism is a little bit of courage in saying, okay, I need to change my life. I need to change how I'm currently living. So I'm now on a pretty strict schedule. So get up pretty much the same time every day, go through a pattern of having a shower, getting dressed, having breakfast, and then making a things to do list for the whole day. I don't enjoy spending all day in front of a screen. It's tough on your body, but I've scheduled regular breaks where I get up and walk around. I've got a training regime that I have once a day. I'm very mindful of the fact I don't need so many calories as I used to. So the last thing I want to do is emerge out of this period, with a COVID 5 kilo sitting around my waist. So scheduling, regular exercise, being aware that you have to change the way you're living your life, because you can't go outside. You can't just pop in the car and go for a drive. Because at the moment, particularly in Dubai, we need permits to do all those things that we used to take for granted. I tell you what's going to change, Darren, is when all this is over, we're going to be very grateful for almost everything. All the things we used to take for granted, we're going to say, oh, isn't it lovely driving along Hessa Road towards the beach? Or,
I know.
Oh, isn't it lovely to go to the park? Here we are walking in the outside.
I know, it's such a surreal experience that we're going through, because just by walking outside and not hearing that sort of drone of activity that would normally be there, you know, all of a sudden is silent. And you and I, you live in the center of Dubai. I live on the outskirts. I live in the desert effectively, which is pretty quiet. But most of the time, there's some sort of noise going on, you know, where there's kids playing. You know, you can hear their laughter, you can hear their screaming as they're chasing each other. There's nothing at the moment, and that silence is quite deafening, really. But it gives you time for that reflection, which I guess we are all having to do in our own way, and I find that a great way for, you know, getting that daily gratitude and thinking, do you know what, you know, the things that I've walked past I haven't noticed for years and years now are slapping me in the face.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. So I'm looking forward to that time when we can express gratitude for those things that we used to take for granted. Definitely.
It will come. It will come. And, you know, the reason I wanted to speak with you today is because our own personal experiences, we can draw some synergy and take some of those learnings and apply them to today's current situation. And, you know, we've got many. If you think about the cycles that we've gone through of difficulty, all these cycles come and they go. And it's what we do in those cycles that obviously gets us through those cycles and through the other side. So, Peter, I'd love you to share a little bit of your background. You've been in the UAE 21 years, but you have an accent. Where are you from originally?
Originally from New Zealand. So born in New Zealand in 1955. Grew up through the 60s, and then into the 70s as an older teenager. Then my wife and I got married in 1979, and we had enough money together after a year to make a decision. We either were going to buy a house in New Zealand or we're going to buy a one-way ticket to London. And that's what we did. We decided to go on an adventure for about 2.5 years. And in that time, we explored the world, and we came back to New Zealand in 1982. Then I got a little bit of a difficult transition going back. There was a time, because I was trained as a teacher, and there was a glut at that moment of time, and they really weren't looking for teachers. So I had to do all sorts of other things, like selling insurance, being a waiter in a restaurant, which was fine. Got me out of bed in the morning. I didn't care that the fact I had a master's degree in geography and a teaching diploma. I was serving someone's soup. That didn't concern me at all. It was the fact that I was busy and I was earning some money. You know, it wasn't a lot, but it was earning something. Then I got a really nice job, and I stayed in that job for 11 years, and that was in a lovely little private, I think in England you'd call them public schools, in the South Canterbury part of New Zealand, the South Island, New Zealand. And we were there for 11 years. That's where our 2 children came about, Tim and Sarah. And it was set in a beautiful, quiet place in the country, Southern Alps, always with the snow tip during winter time. It was such a lovely place to be. And then had an opportunity to come out here. And so we arrived here in August 1995. So it's not 21 years, it's almost 25 years actually. Wow. this August. So it's been a crazy ride. Probably one of the biggest. I'm trying to go back in more recent history about, you know, what did I bring, or what could I bring to this current moment was 2012 I finished my PhD, and I had done it full-time research. So that meant I had to resign from that current position, which was working for a large federal university system here in the UAE. And then Karen picked up a couple of jobs, and so we just made sure we had, you know, some food on the table. But I was working full-time for 2 years. At the end of that, I submitted my PhD, and it was accepted without revision. So I was thinking, oh, wow, so they must think this is pretty good. So went down to Perth, Australia for my graduation, and came back, and I was thinking, I'm going to be bombarded now with lots of email and invites and offers and job offers. Didn't happen. It was interesting. So for 2 years, 2012, 2014, really tough years for me. I'm thinking, what, you know, was this a bad decision? of leaving a good paid job and embarking on this new uncertainty. And then from 2015 till now, it's been a gradual development of opportunity, of experience, and in looking back over those years, since I submitted my thesis in July 2012, I'm glad I did it, because I'm better now than I was back then. I feel stronger, I feel more confident, I feel richer as a result, and I'm enjoying life. Yes, is there financial insecurity? Definitely, right now there is, but overall, I'm positive, I'm hopeful.
That's good. Excellent. Great to hear as well. So in terms of your PhD, what was your research on?
I studied, the thesis was called Cultural Border Crossings in the UAE.
Okay.
And what I was looking at was, how easy is it for young male Emiratis in particular, leaving basically their Arabic life worlds around family, school and community, and going to learn in a college of higher education in a different language, like in English.
Okay.
And then confronted there with mostly European teachers. Some of them are women for the first time. They've not had that since primary school days. And what I found there was they experienced a range of transitions from impossible, so they would leave typically within a week, 4 weeks maximum after arriving at college from the first day, through to difficult. Some of them would stay. Some would then be in the area of comfortable. Yeah, I can manage this. If I need to adjust my behaviours, I can do it. And others are smooth. So in other words, those students who arrived with really good English skills, who had travelled to a lot of European countries, not just the typical holiday spots for the Gulf visitors like Malaysia or Saudi, but actually branched out into Europe and North America. They culturally had already shifted. And so therefore their transition from their worlds into this new world of college education were smooth. And there were lots of questions that I had that came up and were answered. And I love that experience, and I'm very, very proud of what I achieved.
Peter, it's been a great time speaking with you today, and some of your wisdom that you've shared and some of your knowledge has been awesome. Thank you for taking the time, and I'd like to do more and share some more of your wisdom and knowledge with certainly with our LinkedIn network. What can anyone do to connect with you directly? How can they get in contact with you?
Best way is through LinkedIn. In my contact section there, I've got my telephone number and my email. And my email is peter@emarise.com, EMARISE. And yeah, look forward to having conversations with anyone who wants to chat.
Okay, perfect. And again, thanks for everything that you've shared. Wish you and Karen all the very best, you and all of the family back in New Zealand as well. Hope you all stay safe and well, and I look forward to more projects we're working together on and in the not too distant future.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Peter. Take care.